Hey everyone, Lonnie here. What I've got today is a, well, for lack of a better term, a funky jig. There ain't much to it. I really don't know a good way to describe it, other than from time to time you're working on a project and you need just a little piece cut, and the angle doesn't work quite right on the table saw. You've got to put forth a lot of effort to figure out how you're going to do it, or you don't want your fingers that close. This will do, just quite simply just allow you to secure a variety of sizes, distances of wood, keep your hands away from the saw blade, and make the most out of your scrap. Now, I do have a little demonstration at the end, but this thing does have quite a few other purposes. So, let's get started. Now, this particular jig does not take a lot of pieces or a lot of work. Got a piece of 3/4 inch or 2 centimeter hardboard, 1/4 inch or 5 millimeter carriage bolts, wing nuts and washers. We'll begin by marking out the base and working our way up from there. Now the base, I want approximately 14 or 35.5 centimeters. That's going to be the width. Go ahead and mark it. Since this is just a jig, I'm going to use a permanent marker so it's easier to see. Now, I don't quite need it that long, so I'm going to use this edge over here. I know it's straight. Bring it down to 24 inches or 61 centimeters approximately. I just kind of mark each side so I can line up each here. That's going to be where I start. Now, as always, you do not want any ignition sources when cutting MDF. It does keep a lot of dust in the air, and that does create a fire hazard, not to mention respiratory. So we're just going to shut the heat off for a little bit, make my cuts. Once the dust settles, I'll turn it back on. Now the layout is simple. I want 4 inches dedicated to the handrail and the supports. And the side eye cuts over there, that's where all the action is going to take place later on. But I'd like a smooth side to travel up against the fence. Just marking 4 inches or approximately 10 centimeters, 10.2 or something like that. That sections that off. Now, this contractor square is approximately 2 inches wide. That's 5 centimeters, 5.1. I'm just going to start making a grid pattern through here. Start off by just drilling a pilot hole through.
Straight as it goes.
Now once you got all your holes drilled, flip her over, and using the 5/8 or 16 millimeter spade bit, you're just going to go down flag. What I've done is set the depth to make sure that the head of the carriage bolt is all the way up inside. Now when you're done and your holes are cleaned out, double check. You want to make sure the bottom of this carriage bolt where the, I'll call it an anchor is, that it sinks in all the way. Put the back over. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch or 5mm standard bit to drill out the top side. Just want to make sure it's the same size as your carriage bolt and drill as straight as you can. Go ahead, once I get closer to being done, and sand the surface and the backside. This will travel smoother. This is a good time to make sure that all your holes on the backside are deep enough. You don't want any part of the head sticking out. That way it travels across the table saw with ease. Now the handle is just a piece I had left over when I initially cut it. It's 5 1/4 inches long, or approximately 13 centimeters. Really don't need it to be any longer. I'll just kind of match it up. So, not to go beyond that, I'll just take a can of suitable dimensions, trim off these ends. I'm going to go about 1.5 inches or almost 4 centimeters in. Just using another container. Just something the size you think suits you. That'll give me plenty of finger grip. Almost 21 inches, so about halfway. I'll just leave a little extra in there for support. I'll just drill this out, router it, cut this end off. The final thing is I'll butt it up against the line on this side. I can drill through some pilot holes, countersink, and then glue and screw this to the top. Now this board will be, I'm going to use this strip for my lockdowns. It's about 2.5 centimeters or an inch. I'm going to cut it at about 7 inches, or I guess 17.8 or almost 18 centimeters. I'll set the stop block at 2 inches or just a hair over 5 centimeters. .3. Alright, now these are approximately 7 inches long, just about 3.5 inches. I drilled a hole about 5/16, one size bigger than the carriage bolt that will go through here. Now I'm putting these stops on at one end. They're approximately a 1/2 inch. When I slide my workpiece between here and the surface of the jig, it should help lock it down without torquing it too hard. I'm just going to glue these and clamp them, and then I guess we'll give it a try. Now once it dries, it'll be just fine. I went ahead and put 3 brads in there just to speed things up for me. Now this is a good center point. This will help secure your workpiece. The way this is going to work, let's say this is a piece of scrap you have. You need a wedge for some reason, a 1 6. Line it up. Well, any way you want to do it, really. Now the outer black line or that'll hold it nice and secure. You can run this right along the side of the table saw and have your wedge. By setting your fence, your table saw where this is just passing, raise it up. Now this is just a demonstration, but make a little bit of an adjustment there because I wasn't quite on my line. And ideally this will keep your fingers safe when you're dealing with excessively small pieces. and then allow you to make minor adjustments. Now once again, this is just, for demonstration purposes. There's many other functions you can use this for, but you can cut these odd pieces this way, secure them. It gives you plenty of strength. This is adjustable for a whole variety of shapes and sizes. 2 foot may be a bit much, but occasionally I'll get a piece that I need to taper. And I guess it would really work good for tapering legs. But anyway, there it is. There's not much to it, really inexpensive. I have extra nuts in case I wanted to make a few more of these, but there it is. Alright, there it is. Nothing much to it. It's fairly easy to use. Enough said. Thanks for taking the time to watch. Please subscribe. Thank you.